Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Alvin. Born and raised in Mumbai, India. Moved to Canada last 23, 10 years ago. Wow. And lived in London and in Toronto, and moved back to London 3 years ago, working in advertising, and here we are today. We're really excited to chat with you guys.
My name is Cici, and I came from China. I came to Canada before around 2 years ago, and then I'm currently studying in Western here. My major is accounting, and I'm in my second year.
Hi, my name is Sam, or you can call me Samuel. I came to Canada 2017. Um, I'm a Nigerian, and also I work as a digital navigator at a hospital.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My name is Raquel, and I'm from Canada, but I'm Salvadoran descent. My parents are from El Salvador. Born and raised here, and right now I work with the government. And yeah, nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Are there specific foods from your culture that hold deep cultural significance to you?
When you think of Indian food, you always think of like spicy butter chicken, like some kind of curry, right? There's a lot of like cuisine from the south that has not been explored yet. And I think it's coming here. It's come through the Sri Lankan migration. It's come through a lot of South Indian migration, but it's actually a dosa. I don't know if you guys know of it. Do you guys, yeah, you know what a dosa is?
That's
I had it.
familiar, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, right?
Can
Yeah,
you describe
How do you
it?
spell it?
it's dosa,
Yeah.
and it's actually a crepe that's made out of fermented rice batter.
Hmm.
And it's actually, it's funny if you like divide a line between the country, the northern part will be more wheat based, and the south is more rice based.
Back home, we have different cultures and different kind of foods we eat. Mostly we eat everyone's food, but we have some specific ones that are like general, that everyone knows. And we have this, it's called egusi soup.
Mm-hmm.
So it's made from melon seed.
Oh, nice.
You grind it, you fry it with palm oil, and you add your Maggi, you make it to be golden brown. Then you now start adding your spices, your stock, your meat stock, and it comes to life like that.
Nice.
Then when you come to jollof rice as well, jollof rice is the most popular one because anytime there's a celebration, there's weddings, birthday, it's always on the menu.
Menu, yeah.
It's something that is always on the menu.
Yeah.
And because the ones we call with the soup, we have swallows. So it can be gari, it can be pounded yam, it can be fufu made from cassava,
Mm-hmm.
and that is fermented cassava.
Can you get it here?
Yeah, you can get it here. There's a
Okay.
Nigerian restaurants around here.
So,
Okay.
is there any restaurant in London that you recommend to try?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I say there's only one restaurant in London. It's called Vast Cuisine. That is the only restaurant I know of right now. While the others, there are other caterers where you can pre-order and they'll cook it for you and deliver it to your house.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Awesome.
How about you?
My culture, the most mainstream one that most people would know would be like pupusas, which is basically like tortilla that's done with like here is mostly done with corn, but back home it would be more like rice based like
Yeah.
grain, and then you just put in the water, make like the dough we call masa, and then it could be made from like fried refried beans. They have like a little herb called loroco, and then and then there's cheese, and then there's chicharron, which is like deep fried pork. So you could put all that together. You just like go about it, and then just like you put it on a pan, you flip it. So it's
So when it comes to the food connection between me and my country, I would say hot pot. I think it's really I don't know worldwide known, which
Mhm.
is traditional Chinese food. I just say maybe it's because it's super easy to cook because you just need to have literally a hot pot boiling the food that you're gonna eat. So then when I don't know, when I was in China, when I don't know what to eat, I go to hot pot. When I want hot pot, I go to hot pot. And when there's something like say a vegetable mix in my left in my fridge, I go to hot pot. So it's super easy to cook and it's also tastes really good. So the way that people cook hot pot, it's quite different from places to places in China. So I'm a Beijinger, so the hot pot we cooked there was like we just had just tap water and like no salt, no like I don't know the seasonings right in the hot pot. But after we like chopsticked it out, we might put into a ball with basically salted peanut butter, and it's really a different experience.
Is there good spots in London?
I don't know. I don't like. I don't know. I think traditional Chinese people don't really go to like, outside for hot pot because
Yeah.
it's really good to have them at home, and it just feels like different.
Got it.
But I know a spot in Toronto, which is big brand hot pot. So it's called Heidi Lao. Maybe you've heard them, and I recommend you to try it.
Heidi Lau.
Yeah, Heidi Lao.
What cultural celebrations from your background hold the most significance to you?
Our Independence Day.
Mhm.
So it's a day where you get to see everything. You get to see the beautiful cultures, the food, and everything. Because I think food is one of the most important parts of any celebration. Because it's what we call item 7. Back home, we call it item 7. And what that simply means is that there's food on the menu. So in a list of everything, all the activities, maybe you go for a wedding, the list of all the activities, everybody's looking for when the time we're going to go and eat food or something. And yeah, so I'll say Independence Day in Canada, that's the 1st of October every year. We gather all Nigerians, and that's the day I get surprised on the amount of Nigerians that are in London, Ontario. I'm like, wow, there are a lot of Nigerians in Canada. And every year the number increases. Every year the number increases. Since I've been here, every year the number increases. And you see so many different foods, like foods that you've not seen in a long time. You get to see their attires, clothes, different things, and it's so amazing. And there's this, we kind of do some games and everything just to bring everyone together. There's a barbecue, there's everything going on, and it's a perfect time. It happens when summer is about to end and everything.
Nice.
So everybody's just enjoying that outside activity. So I'll say that's one of the cultural, one of the celebrations we have that brings people together.
For me, I would say maybe the Spring Festival. So then the Lunar New Year is right around the corner, which is February the 9th this year. And then we just had a Spring Festival gala with my Chinese international students community like yesterday. So then there was good performance and food for us to enjoy. We had dumplings, and I think the reason why people eat dumplings in like at this point in time is because the process of making the dumplings together is super important. So like some of our friends are making the kind of wrap, like the outside part, and some of us are doing like the inside, like mixing the meat and the vegetables, and then while waiting for it to like boiling it up, we just sit there and we talk and we just have fun. Like, yeah, it's super good.
Okay. Like India's pretty diverse, and there's a lot of division based on more than caste, and it's more religious based. So I was raised Catholic, so I actually celebrated Christmas, but I also celebrated a lot of like other festivals throughout the year. Like one you must have heard of is Diwali, which is pretty big back home. Like the majority of the country celebrates, but it's actually come to Canada as well, and it's pretty big now. If you hear fireworks on a certain winter night or like fall night, it's Diwali.
Do you still speak your native language?
With my core group of friends, yes. but yeah, with the few friends that I have from who I made, like I know them from my childhood days. Like I have some friends of mine who were in high school with me, and they moved to Canada. So when I'm around them, I speak in that language, but only with that group of friends. I don't know why. It's just something I do personally, but uh, they get the slang, they get all the words, so it's very easy to pick it up. Like it all comes back to you. So if you meet me in that moment, you might think I'm like fresh on the boat. That's how I sound. Like sound completely different. But my mom, a little bit. I like the words come and go, whatever. But I still speak to her in English because it was my first language.
What's your language?
I actually speak four languages. So I speak Hindi, I speak Marathi, which is the province language. Hindi is like a language that's spoken across the country, although it's not a national language, but it's still predominant across 30 provinces or whatever number of provinces. Then I speak English, obviously, and then I speak a language that's actually from a Portuguese colony called Goa, and it's it's Konkani, which is a mix of a couple of dialects, and it's still something that was part of me growing up. So I even have like even my name is I still have a Portuguese last name because of the colonists, etc. So
So I also speak native language from my country. I basically speak Chinese every day because like people around the world are learning like Mandarin or something. So even sometimes I'm not with like my Chinese friends or I do speak Chinese because they say to me like ni hao or something like this. So I feel quite connected and when like we do speak like both speak like Chinese and something, and I feel like people do want to know your culture and like yeah. So I also talk to my family every day. So I also speak Chinese to them.
Nice. For me, I don't speak my language. I understand it. I don't speak it, but we have a general broken English. So we have English and we have broken English. And the broken English is what is spoken everywhere in my country. It's just call it
Pidgin English.
pidgin English. So that's the one we speak generally. So for me, I don't speak Igbo or Yoruba. I understand, but I don't speak fluently.
It's not even taught in school, if you don't mind me
It
asking.
is taught in school, but the thing about school is that school don't make it fun.
Oh yeah.
They don't make languages fun.
Yeah.
Like I was in French class in school, but I hated French class. Now I want to learn French.
I do speak Spanish, but I speak it mostly like with my grandma or my aunts, like my mother's like older sisters. And usually them because my parents they came here when they were very young. Like my mom came to Canada when she was 13, and my dad came when he was 18. So they lived the majority of their life in Canada, so they're well versed in speaking English. But the problem is, I think for me, my Spanish, I find that my Spanish, I don't know if it's how it like for you guys, because like I don't know, it's been kind of recent, but I just feel like for me as someone that like living here, I've learned a specific Spanish that's like maybe more academic, only because my mom didn't want my brother and I to learn like slang. We wanted us to learn like proper, and then my grandma, because she's a teacher and an educator, so she spoke to me not with slang or anything casual. It was just like proper like Spanish that was like I guess like upper echelon. Which is like which is kind of isolating because like sometimes when I hear my friends or even my cousins, like the only time I get exposed to like the slang and the lingo and the casualness is when I go to my cousin's house and I hear their parents, like their dad, speak. Or like, because not even my aunts speak like that. The ones that are like my blood relative won't speak like that. So I just sometimes feel like a bit isolated because I'm like, I don't get the lingo and I don't get the slang very well. But I hear it and I know it. It's just that I wouldn't know how to use it because I don't speak like that. That hasn't been my exposure.
Gotcha.
So it's just like, so it's kind of like, kind of sucks. at the same time. But like
So you have FOMO basically.
yeah, because I'm like, I want to blend in too. Like I hear it too, but I don't know how to use it because I was never. That's not how I was taught, and that's not how I think either. Right? So it's just like I'm like I want to engage, but I can't engage.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I just sound lame over here, just being speaking. I just feel like a snob sometimes, and I'm not.
Do you understand it when you speak though?
I understand. I understand it sometimes, but sometimes they go like way deep into the slang, and I'm like, you lost me now.
So can you teach each other, let's say, 2 phrases or expressions from your language that you think is important?
I've always wanted to learn Pidgin English. Trust me, because like when I used to work, I actually worked down the street at the call center. There's a couple of Nigerian dudes around me, and they always spoke in Pidgin English. I'm like, wait a second, there's something here, man. I gotta learn this. It's like if I go to Jamaica for a week, I would love to learn Patois, but it's just being like an imposter there. But like I would love to learn a couple of phrases in Pidgin English.
And one thing I've come to realize is that language helps to break that barrier.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I walk up to you now and I say apkeseo,
Yeah. So I know what it means exactly. Yeah.
if I say apcha,
Yeah.
apkeseo, apcha, that is
Yeah,
in Hindi. If I say that, you
Yeah,
understand
I
me.
get her.
And
100%.
there's that connection. So for pidgin, if I want to say how are you,
Yeah.
how are you doing, I'll say alpha,
Alpha.
So it's an English word, alpha,
Yeah.
Alpha.
Alpha.
and that is how are you in English. And the response to that is I day.
I.
I day.
I day.
So if I say alpha, you say I day. How far?
Okay. Does it have any connection to any of the languages from there, like Yoruba or like?
No,
There's
it's-
absolutely no
it's-
connection.
That is everyone. That is a universal.
So someone created this language. This is interesting.
That's just it. It's a universal pidgin language, and everyone understands it.
And is it
across the
not
world.
distinct to just Nigeria, or is it outside Nigeria too?
I would say that some other countries, Cameroon too has their own kind of pidgin.
Yeah.
We have our own kind of pidgin,
Oh, okay.
and we understand them when they speak their own, and they understand us a bit. But there are some when we go deep, they won't understand, and
Yeah.
we won't understand them.
Okay.
So if you just to remember what I've taught you guys now,
Yeah.
if I say alpha, what's your response?
I
I
did.
day.
I did.
That is, how are
Great.
you? I'm good.
Yeah. Nice.
I guess you guys already know ni hao,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then ni is you and hao is good. Like, are you doing good? How are you? Like this. And then maybe I actually don't speak a lot of Cantonese, but I do know one thing that means hope everything goes well, hope everything is fine with you. And it's Kong Hei Fa Choi. I guess maybe
Choi.
yeah, like Kong Hei Fa Choi. Yeah.
Kong Hei Fa Choi.
Yeah.
Kong
So
Hei
it's
Fa
like
Choi.
hope you make a lot of money in the coming new year. So then yeah.
That's a
I
nice
think I saw a
one.
comedian say that. I think you say it during the New Year's, right? Like Chinese New Year. There's a certain phrase that you say, and it involves with money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a comedian say
Kong Hei
that. Sorry,
Fa Choi.
just remembered.
Have you learned any Chinese like sentences or
I used to like I have a friend, like I have friends from different backgrounds,
Mhm.
and I did, but not. I don't remember any of it now. So,
Right.
but Hong Wei Fa Choi.
Kong
That's Kong.
Kong Hei Fa Choi?
Kong Hei
Kong
Fa Choi.
Fei.
Yeah.
Kong Hei Fa Choi.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. All right, teach me Spanish.
Oh, well, okay. What do you guys know? I feel like people know something.
Right. I know all the bad words.
Oh, you know, bad words.
Thanks to rap music.
Yeah.
No, but no, it's just
like
don't
hola, ¿cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
Yeah.
So how do you say? Okay, let me ask this. How do you say you're looking beautiful today in Spanish?
Te miras muy linda hoy.
Sorry,
Te
Sorry?
miras,
te miras
te miras muy linda.
muy
Muy
linda.
linda.
Yeah.
Te miras muy linda.
Yeah. Is that what you're gonna use
Yeah.
on Latin night?
Yeah, oh my
Te
God.
miras muy linda.
I know muy bien.
Muy bien.
Muy bien
Yeah,
is
very-
I'm good.
Very good.
Very
very
good.
good.
Muy bien.
Muy
Okay.
bien.
So muy is very, then bien is good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know andale, which is go andale, which is
It's like go.
go. Let's go. Vamos is also.
Vámonos. Yeah.
So,
Vámonos. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. He brought up a Hindi phrase "आप कैसे हो," which is "How are you?" मैं ठीक हूँ. मैं अच्छा हूँ. Well, अच्छा means good, so I'm good. So आप कैसे हो? How are you? Op is like, and when you're saying op, it's giving respect. It's formal, not informal. Op कैसे हो? How are you? So whenever like not a lot of people talk that way back home. No one says op or whatever. They just go informal. We as a tribe are very direct and blunt. Yeah. So when we say op कैसे हो, like mostly is for someone who's older than you. So you as reverence or like respect. So आप कैसे हो? मैं अच्छा हूँ. It's very simple. There's more to Hindi, but there's also 30,000 different languages back home, and I know three of them. I wish I could speak more, but it's tough. Every province is different, man. The dialect changes every 30, like whatever, a few kilometers is a different language growing up. So
how is your cultural pride influence the way you dress or your personal style, your clothes? I can see Sam here is in his cultural vest, so we can start with
Yeah, like your shirt.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's a nice shirt.
So this is just a native attire.
Okay.
So this is just a simple native wear.
Yeah.
And we have different kind of natives for different kind of cultures.
Okay.
And we have, because I'm from the south.
Yeah.
And we have a specific way we dress.
Mm-hmm.
So our men, they wear this kind of native top. It's like a t-shirt, but it's a native material. Then for what we wear on the way, we tie George material. We call it George material, like a wrapper.
Yeah.
We tie that and we wear our nice shoes and our hats with our beads and our walking stick.
Okay. The cane on.
Yeah. Just to complete that look, and that's how they dress.
Nice.
But for this is just a simple native wear anyone can wear.
What is the shirt called? Like they're Chinese color shirts, but is this shirt called something? I really like the long sleeves. I love wearing them in the summer.
Yes, I would say what we call them is just native.
Okay, native shirt. Yeah, cool.
But there's a specific name for it. I can't really remember what the name is.
It's fine.
But this is just a native.
I just love long sleeves that go to there and you look fly. So that's good.
So for me, because it's close to New Year, I bought some red clothes, because red is kind of cultural color to China. So there's nothing more like in clothes, like really traditional and cultural for me. I don't know, because I'm young people, or I don't know, my grandma also like doesn't wear like so much like traditional clothes. One thing that comes to my mind when it comes to like cultural clothes is what you can see from the Chinese series, like those kind of long robe,
Yeah.
So then that's definitely what we like. Definitely not what we wear today. So yeah.
What's it called though?
Well, one kind of them, what people wears the most today is called hanfu.
Hanfu.
Like Han is one of a historical period of China, and then fu means clothing or clothes.
Okay, so it's very. It looks similar to a kimono, but it's not a kimono.
Kimono,
which is like Japanese.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Okay, like for obviously we just wear like very much Western clothes back home, but like on traditional days, Diwali, which is what I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember the Office episode, right? Where they go to a Diwali party. Have you seen The Office, the TV show?
Yeah.
So they do go to a Diwali party where Michael's date shows up in a cheerleader outfit. Yeah. She's out of place, but everyone else is in traditional, and everyone's wearing a kurta, which is very common for men to wear, and women usually wear the same, like it's a shalwar, but sometimes they'll also wear a sari, which is draped really gracefully. I don't know how they do it, but they do it really well. So it's very common uh, wear during like traditional days, like even weddings, etc.
Mhm.
In fact, my mom still wears a lot of traditional clothes back home. She does for the long, but when she's in Canada, she'll dress Western. So
We dress in El Salvador. We dress pretty Western. We
yeah,
don't really have like a traditional like dress. I think partly because unfortunately, knowing my history of like genocide of our indigenous population
yeah,
and the erasure that occurred, because I've actually been learning a lot about it recently, probably because of the whole like issue with Palestine,
yeah,
but
yeah,
kind of like made me reflect on like my stuff
yeah,
as well. And so unfortunately, like a lot of that was lost and like and hasn't really been
yeah,
preserved. But there are communities. It's just
yeah,
that in like where for me in my lineage, like I haven't
yeah,
nothing. There isn't nothing like traditional
yeah,
specific. Although other Latin countries like they are like
yeah,
in Peru, Bolivia, they have a strong indigenous like population. I'm sure it's like depending, but
yeah,
like not all of us are from these certain tribes.
yeah.
Like not all of us are from so like for me specifically, I'm not from a tribe, so I
Gotcha.
wouldn't have like a traditional
Mhm.
indigenous wear.
Have you faced any challenges trying to maintain your cultural pride in Canada?
It's a big population here now, so it's kind of different. I believe said this a few days ago, like when we were having another discussion, is uh, 10 years ago when I moved to London, Ontario, it was totally different London, Ontario. 2014 was very different. Now it's completely different. Now it's far more cultural. Like you can find a lot of Indian spots, but also you can find good Chinese food spots. And then food brings people, and who's going there? It's people from those communities who are going there to eat. So it's far more diverse now. I didn't find any challenges there, but initially when I first arrived, it was tough. Like it was, where do I get this? Where do I get that? There's not a lot of Indian stores. There was like less access to certain things. I had to go to Toronto for certain things, but now it's pretty much available even in tiny little like or medium-sized cities in southwestern Ontario. So which is kind of changing, and it's good. People are far more welcoming. I go to the certain restaurant that I go to where I get the dosa. I see people from all cultures there. Like a few months ago, say in the summer, there was a family from Colombia who was sitting there. They were visiting from the States. They're from the States, but they're Colombian. And I was explaining everything on the menu to them. They were like, okay, thanks. So it's kind of brings people together now.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same because I've only been here for 2 years and I haven't found like any major challenges for between the me and connecting to my country. So then, at least in London, we have two or three like Chinese supermarkets, so we can get even the most specific food in China. So I don't really feel much challenge in terms of culture connecting or something like this. So and I'm really grateful for the previous Chinese who've been to London and established those facilities
Yeah,
for us. So yeah.
that's awesome.
I would say for me, when I first moved to Canada, it was a bit challenging getting, because for me, cooking back home, I don't used to enter the kitchen back home
Yeah,
because my mom, she just call us when we're younger, come and cut these vegetables. We're cutting the vegetables, wash this, do this, do that. And little did I know that all those things I was doing was registering in my brain.
yeah,
So when I was not by myself, I could do all those
yeah,
things. And looking for where to buy food was
yeah,
hard at time. And the distance again, because when you see one African store that sells everything you
yeah,
want, the distance to get to the place is not encouraging. That's a challenge as
yeah,
well, getting there. But over time, there were more options.
yeah,
There were more options. You can pre-order for food, or you can go to stores. There are multiple African stores now, so there's more options when it comes to getting what you need. So
yeah,
yeah, the resources are there now.
Um, I don't think there's like a challenge really to maintain. Outside of like maybe like language as time goes on, I get worried about those things. Like, because it's just like, it's, it's like Salvadoran or like the Spanish community is there, but we're also very diverse. But like, so I always feel like supported and I find my people, and so it's fine. It's just like sometimes I just worry about like language over time, like my kids and forward. That's the stuff I have. But aside from like as far as like food and access to like certain ingredients, what I like about Canada is like most of my ingredients I go to like a Jamaican store called Festival Food. It's run by like Chinese Jamaican, but they and they have all my seasonings and foods there. They know me. They'd be like, your mom called. They said you needed this, and I was like, got you. Like that's how like close. Like so it's like it's just like having that. Going to certain spots where it's like a mixture of people, especially with Latin food and Caribbean food, we kind of similar together. So that's like the nice part. It's like it's so easy to find. It's not as hard, and then I think that's like the beauty of it, because like that's like Canada to me, where I'm like, I do have a Latin supermarket. We do have those, but then there's a Jamaican store that's like down the street that has all the stuff that we need as well, and it's from there, so it's like, and they're very well known in our community, so it's just like that's the beauty of it, right?
So how do you balance maintaining the cultural heritage that you have and also embracing the diversity that's in Canada? How do you maintain that balance?
I would say for me, it's the cross-cultural balance has come in place of getting to be more intentional, in the sense where I want to know about your culture, and I want to be able to express my own culture at the same time. So that way, there is no loss in communication. I'm letting you know about mine, you're letting I'm learning, and you're learning as well. And as humans, we learn every day. So I see it as a way of me meeting new people, because Canada is it's full of diverse cultures. So you just have to have that mindset that you're stepping out, you're going to meet so many people today. And I kind of balanced in a way of being open to that possibility of meeting anybody that can be from any culture. That's why sometimes when I meet someone, I want to know about, okay, how do you say this in your language and all those kind of things, because that's a way of also connecting with them. Because this is also part of who they are, and that way I can connect with them on that way. So I would say, just being open to that fact that, yes, I am in a diverse environment, because back home is different. When you're back home, people like to segregate themselves. These people want to be by themselves. These people want to be by themselves. So everyone doing. But for here, you have to unlearn that. So there's some things I have to unlearn when coming here. Because you cannot be, okay, I just want to be with Nigerians only. No, it's not going to work that way.
Exactly.
You want to be able to mix up with everyone else, culture, know how to communicate and all that. So it also builds character. It also builds yourself. So I see it as just being open about it. It's going to go a long way.
It was a piece of advice my sister gave me because she arrived 2 years prior to I did, and she's like, try to mix with everyone. And even to this day, when I'm in the office, I try not to speak in like Hindi. I'll speak in English because I don't want to alienate other people. So because we have different backgrounds, eating lunch together at a table, we'll speak English. And I also like urge some of my immediate peers and friends, like, try not to. Not that I'm like try to school them. It's just don't want to alienate people, but try to like integrate as much as possible.